How's it going, humans? On this episode of YouTube, I bought the biggest walnut slab that I have ever purchased, and I'm gonna turn it into a desk. Wish me luck, because I'm gonna need it. So this slab scares me, and this slab scares me because maybe I'm just a wimp, but this is the biggest slab that I've ever worked on, and potentially gonna be the biggest resin pour that I've ever done. I've been looking for the perfect slab to put into my office, studio, closet. Yeah, it's going in the closet. All right, so we're back in the closet. Moving on. I finally found this piece at the Black Forest Wood Company in Calgary, and there is only one like it, because that's what you get when you find the perfect slab. There is only one. Now, you might have noticed at the beginning of the video, there was snow in the background. That's because I purchased this slab at the beginning of February, and it's now the end of April. I've been sitting on this for months because it scared me, and I really don't want to screw it up. But today was the day to get over that fear and just start working. So I'm not a resin expert. I'm still learning a lot, as you'll see later. But the one thing I do know is you really want to make sure to spend your time and clean out all of these voids and get rid of all of the bark. Because if there's any bark or any dust or dirt, the resin isn't going to stick to it. And the last thing you want is your resin to delaminate from your wood and no longer be, in it. Because it's so much better for it to be in it than not. You get it? Not? Like a knot in a tree? Yeah. So with all the major voids taken care of, the next thing to do was take care of all the tiny little cracks and crevices and make them all nice and, smooth. Because everybody wants a smooth crack, right? So with all those cracks sanded and blown out, the next thing to do was create a base for my pour. But the base that I had was more of a potato chip than a flat piece of plywood, which was kind of perfect because I wasn't going to use this to build anything, but also kind of annoying because it wasn't flat. But with a few clamps in place, I was able to get it squeezed down flat enough that it should work, and we're just gonna hope. It is so warped that it works. That's what this project is. It's a lot of hoping. So I think this is gonna be good. It feels pretty flat. So here's my dilemma. I don't know if this coating is gonna stick to resin. I don't think it will, but it might. So mold release or tuck tape? I guess it's tuck tape. So with my potato chip all tuck taped, the next thing I did was blow out all of my holes, and then I decided that they needed some caulk. I figured that it'd be a good idea to lay a nice thick caulking bead all the way around them, just, to prevent leakage, because caulk might be a good way to prevent leakage with these holes. This is an experiment, guys. I'm just figuring all this out as I go and just hopeful it all works out in the end. So to say I use a lot of caulk on this piece of wood would be probably an understatement. My caulk is empty. So I figured, why not use some hot glue? Oh, it's gonna use a lot of glue. Yeah, why are you snapping at me? Too much glue. Time to get some caulk. I got caulk. His name is Alex. Okay, just got all those in. They are good, I hope. I hope. Gonna give them about half an hour to set. And in the meantime, as that's happening, gonna mix the resin. Dixit. Fathom. Just came in today. Like literally unboxed it today. And TotalBoat. Okay, so I just measured out potentially how much we're gonna need. Should be about 30 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches. And It says 200 ounces. 200. That's a lot. 200 seems like a lot. Maybe 132? 1 gallon? I only have a gallon. I guess and a half. I don't know how much I'm gonna mix. I think we're gonna start with this. It's not quite like bucket head big enough, but then we're gonna start with 64 ounces. I need to do the math. Does anyone know how these work on the side? I'd love if somebody would teach me how to use these scales though. So, you know, hit me up, because I don't know. So yeah, am I wrong that like 200 ounces of resin seems like a lot of resin? But that's what the calculator told me. So as we know, measuring is already a hard thing, and maybe I made a mistake. But we're gonna start with 64. That seems like a much more logical amount of resin. And in case you missed it, I am using the TotalBoat Thickset Fathom for this. So it has a pour depth of like 3 to 4 inches. We're not going that deep on this, but it should be able to handle the 1 to 2 inches of depth that I need. I then added the Underworld Teal pigment by Aurora Pigments. So this is the same pigment that I used in the shelves in one of my previous videos for the studio. It is by far just the most glorious of greens that I have ever seen. Now with that color poppin', I did decide to throw this into the pressure pot for about 45 minutes. Threw it under about 40 pounds of pressure, just because, hopefully try and get some of the bubbles out. Even though this is a deep pour, long cure, it's gonna take like a week to cure, so the bubbles will pop themselves or raise to the surface, but I still wanted to try and get rid of them. I don't know. Oh, I don't even know how to pour this. I don't know. It just seemed like the right thing to do. So at this point I was feeling pretty good about this pour. You can see in the bucket I have like 20 ounces of resin left over, which shows it was a good idea to only mix 64 ounces of resin. But I was about to have a really bad day. There's a leak right there. So let this be a lesson to you that tuck tape is not enough on these side cracks to stop the resin from seeping out. As you can see, I lost quite a bit in that section, and it was a good thing that I had more resin that I could pour in there. But that wasn't the only section that leaked. I spent the next about 2 hours trying to stop leaks and plug holes. It was fun. So lessons have been learned, and it is a whole lot better to make a solid side that the resin can't seep through. Okay, I think we got it solved. Hopefully. Got this spot that keeps eating resin. It's gonna keep coming down and filling it, and hopefully it fills. The main void here, it's all filled up, looking good. Hopefully no more leaks. Check on it every couple of hours. It's already 8 o'clock, so Friday night. That's what we do on Fridays. Oh, shit. So with the resin poured, it does take about a week for it to fully set and cure, which meant I had some time to wait. And I decided to use that time to figure out how I was gonna actually get this desk into the closet. So my initial plan was to weld up some brackets to go all the way around, because I seriously didn't think I would be able to pivot this desk into place, considering how a closet is laid out. But once I got all my brackets welded up and then placed them into the closet, a few things happened. One, the metal wasn't straight anymore, which probably had to do with my inferior welding abilities. Secondly, I absolutely hated the way it looked. I thought it would be okay. I thought having about 3/4 of an inch of steel all the way around might be a neat look, but it was absolutely atrocious. So I decided I needed to figure out how to get the desk in one piece. So I did a quick 3D design in Shaper 3D, and I figured out that the desk only needed to be about 3/16 of an inch narrower than the depth of the closet. 3/16. That's it. That's nothing. So I decided to cut up a template so that I'd have that for when my resin was dry. Now don't worry about it being undersized right now. I have a trick, and I'm going to show you this trick a little later. It's the best trick for getting perfectly fitting templates. So after about a week of waiting, it was time to take apart my art project. And then I could turn my attention to flattening this slab. Now, there's many ways to do this. You can make a router sled, you can just sand the living hell out of the top of it, but I just assembled my CNC, and I thought this would be a nice fun way to flatten the top.
I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack.
So I know what you're thinking, and yes, this looks atrocious still, but this is where my little buddy Herbert comes in, and he's gonna take care of all of this. He's gonna turn this nasty looking slab into something a little prettier. So with the top side looking at least, you know, I wouldn't say $1 million, but maybe like 100,000. No, who am I kidding? It's looking like $100. So at the top, looking like $100, it was time to start working on the bottom. So I had a couple of issues on the bottom that I needed to take care of. There were a few of these voids that didn't go through all the way to the top, so they didn't get filled with resin. And I had this one void that caught a massive air bubble, which could have been a really bad thing, but the fact that the air bubble was trapped at the bottom meant I could just cut out the resin and fill it up again. Yeah! So since the voids on the bottom aren't quite as deep as the voids on the top, I'm going to be using TotalBoat's high performance resin to fill these voids. You can't pour it as thick as the Dixit Fathom, but it cures in about 5 hours. Well, you have about 45 minutes of working time with it. After 5 hours, it's hard, and I still think it takes another few days or a week to get to its full hardness. But after 5 hours, you can work with it, which is pretty great. I usually tend to leave it overnight, and that's what I did here. So with my resin drying, the next thing I needed to do was figure out really how big my template needed to be. And in order to get my fancy template trick to work, the first thing I needed to do was put on my brackets. So I already had my studs marked, and I ran a line around the closet at 29 inches, which is where I wanted the top of my desk to sit. So all I needed to do for my brackets was drop them down a couple of inches for the thickness of my slab, and I could bolt them right into the studs. Next, I threw my template in place and gave the whole desk a test run.
Tappy tappy, tap tap tappy, tappy tappity, tappy tappity.
So now here comes the ultimate template trick. It's one you might have seen before. It's cereal boxes, guys. It's so simple. All you do is cut up a bunch of strips of cereal box cardboard, tape it to your existing undersized template, and now you have a perfectly fitting template that you can actually still get out of the closet because the cardboard bends. It's brilliant. So with my template ready to go and the resin dry on the bottom of my slab, Herbert made short work of smoothing out that resin, and then it was time to lay down my template. I think I've decided on this. We'll have a bit of an opening on that side, and then over here, I might just make this a little bigger, kind of carve that in, just so I can throw cords down. And then it's gonna sweep in quite a bit. Like that much. However big my finger is. I'll have this and there. I think that's what we're gonna do. See how we like it. All right, well, let's get this. No. No. So this, hold on. This handsaw, I don't know if you can see, right in there somewhere. So, this was my great-grandfather's saw, stamped 1896. Where did it go? Stamped 1896. This was Thor's saw. Yeah. I need to get his hammer. But this was his saw. And I have it, and it's awesome, and I actually use it. But not for this. We're gonna use some modern technology for this. So that's right. My great-grandfather was Thor. I'm not even kidding. His name was Thor, and that was his saw. My uncle has his hammer, and one day I'll get it, I hope. But until that day comes, I'm just gonna have to be happy with having Thor's saw. And it's actually really handy to have, because I do use it. And even though I said I wasn't gonna use it on the desk, I still did. Let's see what this is gonna be. Oh, it's a whole lot lighter now. Oh, yeah. Cool. Now I can finally haul this desk upstairs and give it a test fit. Oh, I hope it fits. Well, anyone have any ideas? How are we supposed to do this? I didn't think about that. I thought about once it was in, and it should just tilt. Didn't think about actually getting it in. Uh-oh. I'm stuck. Oh no. Yeah. I mean, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, there was no way this was not gonna happen. Okay, so I'm gonna go downstairs. Gonna make this a little bit bigger. Gonna take a little bit off of there. Gonna take a little bit off of there. And then I'm gonna cut this like that. And make it match that. Oh, ha! Oh, my hand is stuck. Okay. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, part one is good. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, we're so close. Okay. Like, we are so close. So we're hitting a little bit there. It's just hitting. I'm a champ for that. Away we go. Okay, how much is off that? Oh! Ah! Oh my god, it's down. What? What? Ha! Oh, now the most important thing. Keyboard tray, doobie-doo, clicky click, do. Tappity, tap, tap, tap. Oh, it's so good. Happy. Oh, now I need to test. Strength test. That'll be good. Ain't crashing down. I got a desk. All right. Now that the desk is in the closet, the last thing I wanted to do was add just a couple more brackets to the front corner, you know, for extra security. even though it could handle me bouncing on it. I wanted more. I wanted more. With those brackets installed, I took a second to check my level, and I was amazed. I was amazed, maybe as amazed as you are, that it was perfectly level. I think this is what we call dead nuts, you know? Dead nuts level. The next thing to do was mark out where I was going to secure my desk to these brackets. And with that done, I could haul it back downstairs, hopefully the last time. And away we go. Look at it. Here's the desk. I should go to the gym. But did I go to the gym? Absolutely not. That's just crazy talk. So with the bottom side all taken care of, there's a few spots on top that needed a little more work. So I mixed up another small batch of TotalBoat high performance resin and filled in all of these little spots. And with hours and hours of sanding on the cutting room floor, it was time to apply our finish. A little Rubio monocoat. Now with the finish applied and cured, or at least curing, I flipped the desk back over, added a couple of chamfers around my bolt holes, and then screwed in some threaded inserts. Now it's finally time to bring this desk upstairs for the last time. Get it shoved into the closet where it belongs. Like a freaking glove! And bolted in place. And that, humans, is, well, one way to build a desk for a closet. Work. It's my turn to talk now. Dappity 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 dappity. Oh, I'm just practicing. I have a desk. Look at this thing. I am so happy with how this turned out. Still have a few more things to do on this. I want to get some wall mounts so I can mount my monitors on the wall so I can keep them off the desktop. I need to make a keyboard tray. What are you doing? Keyboard tray, and I want to make a box tray keyboard goes here, PC stand to go underneath with like surge protector and the PC and all that stuff. So still got a ways to go until this is going to be fully functional, but having this actually here and in the closet makes me so happy. So thank you for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch you next time.
Tappity, tappity, tappity.
I'm talking now. I work in corporate.